Hello, how are you today? It's me again, and now we're going to start lesson 5, the fifth lesson. How was your day today? Or if it is morning, what are you planning on doing today? Have you slept enough? Did you do everything you wanted? Or what are you going to do today? Thank you. Today we're going to learn new portion of words, read the text, David in snowstorm, answer the questions, retell the text. Then we're going to do some sentences from exercise 4. Afterwards, we're going to read and retell the text Day in the Lifetime on Jakashimi. Afterwards, we learn the new portion of phrasal verbs. At home, you have to revise all these phrasal verbs and do exercises. Now, read and repeat. Dreadful. Fireworks. Together one thinks. A crowd had gathered. To gather a rich crop of something. Lad. Orchard. Foundation. To lay the foundations of something. Positive. Positive proof. Yes, I'm positive. Anxious. To feel anxious about something. To feel anxious about somebody's health. Sawmill. To chop wood. Fair. By fair means. It was a fair fight. Palm. Now, I'd like you to read and the text David in the snowstorm. While my reading, you read the text and follow me. David in the snowstorm. In London, it doesn't often snow, but when it does, life becomes very difficult for everyone. Cars have to go very slowly because the roads are covered in ice and wet snow. So there are traffic jams, and lots of people arrive late for work. Snow usually melts quickly, and this makes the pavement dangerous and unpleasant to work on. Only children really like the snow. David works in the local library. He usually goes to work by bus, but this morning he's walking because there don't seem to be any buses. He's wearing his winter coat and a scarf, but it is still snowing, and the wet snow is trickling down his neck and making him feel very uncomfortable. He's looking forward to having a nice hot cup of coffee. Thank you. Now I'd like you to answer my question, finding the answer in the text. Does it often snow in London? It doesn't often snow. What effect does the snow have on the people's lives? Lives becomes very difficult for everyone. What happens to cars? Cars have to go very slowly. Do people arrive at work on time? Lots of people arrive late for work. What happens to car? The cars run slowly. Does the snow melt quickly? The snow usually melts quickly. What is the result of snow melting? This makes the pavement dangerous and unpleasant to walk on. Who likes the snow? Very much. Only children like the snow. Where does David work? David works in the local library. Why is he walking to work today? There don't seem to be any buses. What is he wearing? He is wearing his winter coat and a scarf. What is it trickling down his neck? The wet snow is trickling down his neck. Thank you. Now you don't have to look at the text, but listen to me and try to understand the contents of the text. David and the snowstorm. In London, it doesn't often snow, but when it does, life becomes very difficult for everyone. Cars have to go very slowly because the roads are covered in ice and wet snow, so there are traffic jams, and lots of people arrive late for work. The snow usually melts quickly, and this makes the pavement dangerous and unpleasant to walk on. Only children really like the snow. David works in the local library. He usually goes to work by bus, but this morning he's walking because there don't seem to be any buses. He's wearing his winter coat and a scarf, but it is still snowing, and wet snow is trickling down his neck and making him feel very uncomfortable. He's looking forward to having a nice hot cup of coffee. Thank you. I'd like you to retell this text right away. Thank you. Now I'd like you to read after me the phrasal verbs. To rush. Rush at. Накинуться, наброситься на кого-либо. As soon as they came home, they rushed at their homeworks. They knew there was no time to lose. Rush into. Торопливо войти, ворваться. Please, don't rush in without knocking. Rush out of. Торопливо выйти. Why did they rush out of the room without saying goodbye? To rush to. Броситься, спешно отправиться. We all rushed to the door when the postman arrived. Thank you. Now I offer you to do exercises below these phrasal verbs. Thanks. And then translate from Russian into English. Thank you. Now exercise 4. Please do this exercise in written form. Now I am going to do some sentences with you. 14. I have just opened the letter when the wind blew it out of my hand. The burglar was opening the safe when he heard the footsteps. First action in progress. When another short action happened. He immediately put on his torch and crawled under the bed. Action, short actions. The boys were playing cards when they heard their father's step. First, the action in progress, and the other, the here, a stative verb. We don't use in continuous. The 17th. He didn't allow us to go out in the boat yesterday as a strong wind was blowing. He didn't allow. It's stative verbs, and the wind was blowing, action in progress. The traffic made so much noise that I couldn't hear what he's saying. The traffic made. It can be was making, and made usually. It's constant, and he's saying at the moment of speaking. She stand at the bus stop, and I asked her what bus she was waiting for. Another variant. She was standing at the bus stop. Two action in progress. Thank you. Now I'd like you to read the story A Day in the Life of Takashimi. You have to read this text, answer this question below the text, and retell the text. Thank you. So, now let's get down and do preposition work. Exercise 8. In, at, on, place. We use in example, in a room, in a building, in a box, in a garden, in a town, in a country. There is no one in the room, in the building, in the garden. What have you got in your hand, in your mouth? When were you in Italy? We spent a few days in Venice. I have a friend who lives in a small village in the mountains. Look at those people swimming in the pool, in the sea, in the river. We say at the bus stop, at the door, at the window, at the top of the page, at the bottom of the page, at the end. On the ceiling, on the wall, on the door, on the table, on the floor, on her nose, on a page, on an island. I sat on the floor, on the ground, on the grass, on a chair, on a beach. In at, there were a lot of people in the shop. It was very crowded. Go along this road, then turn left at the shop. Somebody giving directions. There is something water in the bottle. There is a label on the bottle. There is somebody at the door. There is a notice on the door. Thank you. Now do exercises. Thank you. I'd like to revise phrasal verbs the previous lesson. To turn around, повернуться, обернуться. To turn out, оказаться. To turn over, перевернуться. To turn up, появиться, очутиться. To turn into, превратиться. To turn inside out, вывернуть наизнанку. To turn upside down, перевернуть вверх тормашками. Turn up, сделать громче. Turn on, включить. Turn down, сделать тише. Turn off, выключить. Now I'd like you to do the exercises lesson 4 and exercises phrasal verbs for revision. Thank you. Now let's get down and do exercise 122, exercise 9. So do exercise according with their prepositions. Now complete sentence with in, at, or on. The exercise done. I like the picture hanging on the wall in the kitchen. There was an accident at the crossroad this morning. I wasn't sure whether I had come to the right office. There was no name on the door. At the end of the streets, there is a path leading to the river. You'll find the sports results on the back page of the newspaper. I wouldn't like an office job. I could spend the whole day sitting at a desk. My brother lives in a small village in the southwest of England. The man the police are looking for has a scar on his right cheek. The headquarters of the company are in Milan. Nicholas was wearing a silver ring on her little finger. Thank you. That's the end of lesson 5. Goodbye to the next meeting.